Hello everyone and welcome to Roadmap. So we are continuing with the topic our forest part 2, and if you like the video, don't forget to click on thumbs up button below. You can also subscribe for more video updates, and you can also share videos, and you can also give your suggestions in the comment section below. The topics to be covered are introduction, dependence of animals on plants, recycling of nutrients in a forest, food chain, food web, some terms which are associated with forest, biodiversity in forest, uses of forest, conservation of forest, and the Chipko movement. Now already I have made the first part, so I would suggest you to go back and check the video and then come over here to have a better conceptual understanding. Now we'll continue with food web. Now the food chains are described very simple, right? And you will find many food chains in operation in the forest. All foods chain are interlinked. Now already we have learned what is food chain. Food chain, it is the process of food transfer from plants to a series of organisms with repeated eating and being eaten, and this is called as food chain. Now in simple word, food chain is who eats whom. So the interconnected network of food chain is called as food web. Now, for example, grass or plants may be eaten by grasshoppers as well as by rabbits, cattle, and deer. And the herbivores may be eaten by carnivores like frogs, birds, snakes, tigers, or hogs, depending upon their food habitats. Now, this means that one organism may have different sources of food. Now, grasshopper, like, it is eaten by rabbits also. It may eat rabbit also. It may eat cattle also. It may eat deer also. So there is a interconnection, and this interconnection network of food chain is called as the food web. Now you can, from the figure, you can see that there is an interconnection of network of different organisms. That one organism is eating the other organism, and the sources are many for one organism to eat, like the plant is eaten by the grasshopper, and then it is eaten by the snake, or by the mouse, or it is eaten by the some other animal. So there are different sources available to them. So this is called as basically food web. Now coming to the terms which are associated with forest. Now first, crown. In forest, you will find that tall trees with branches at top, and these branches arise above the stem. Such tall plants have clear stems, and this branched part of tree above the stem is called as the crown. And crown is of basically different sizes, also of different types available. You can see them. And coming to the canopy, now from the picture, which is the first one, this is the canopy, that one is canopy, and when you visit a dense forest, you will find that area remains shady under the trees, and the branches of stem act like an umbrella that we use during summer to protect us from the heat of sun. In same way, branches of the tall trees look like a roof over the other plants in the forest, and this is called as canopy. Now understories, basically the second diagram is the understories, and you will find trees, shrub, herb growing together in a forest. Now these plants differ in their heights. Trees are tall, which form the top layer, and herbs are the smallest of the three and form the lowest layer. Shrubs form in between trees and herbs. It means there are different horizontal layers in the forest. These horizontal layers are called as understories. Now, how a forest develops in nature? This must be a question arising to you, right? Now, in nature, trees produce enough seeds, and these seeds are dispersed in the forest by various agencies. The forest floor is rich in humus and sufficiently moist and shady. So the seeds falling on the floor of the forest germinate and develop into seedlings and saplings, and the favorable conditions help these saplings to grow into trees. And this is the way in which forest is developed. Now, biodiversity in a forest. Now, our forest is a home for several kinds of plants and animals, and these plants and animals live in close relationship with each other. For example, the Forest plants such as sal, teak, simil, shisham, neem, palash, fig, kher, amla, bamboo, and the forest animals such as the bear, jack, porcupine, elephant, monkey, lion, tiger, leopard, butterfly, spider. We see that forests provide a natural home for a variety of plant and animals, and it has got a great diversity. Now, forest as a dynamic living. Forest provides favorable conditions for the growth and development of plants, animals, and microorganisms. Plants are eaten by herbivores, which are eaten by the carnivores. And the wide variety of animals, such as herbivores and carnivores, help the forest to regenerate and grow. And decomposers break down the dead remains of plants and animals into simpler forms. Now, these decomposers supply nutrients to growing plants in the forest, and we call a forest as dynamic living entity. Now, forests are useful in variety of ways. It is beneficial to man in several ways, such as it provides timber. The trees such as sal, teak, and pine provides timber for making the furniture, then the railways, coaches, and the uh, sports good, and also the variety of products. It also provides food. Now, tribal people living in forests take tubers, roots, leaves, and fruits of plants as their food, and they depend on meat for forest animals. They also provide medicines. Now, various drugs of medicinal importance are obtained from various plants in forest. Leaves of neem, tulsi are well known for their medicinal value, and aloe vera also has the medicinal value. And there are some products which are obtained from the forest, like a large number of important products such as the gum, oil, spices, fodder, resins, bamboo, lac, silk, honey, horns, hides, musk, ivory are provided by the forest animals. It also helps in the prevention of soil erosion and floods. Roots of trees bind the soil particles together and prevent the soil from being washed or blown away, and trees help in preventing floods. So they also help in regulate climate of a place. Now, forest increases the water vapor in the atmosphere by transpiration, and the increase in water vapor content helps in keeping the air cool and helps in inducing rain. So they also help in quality maintaining the quality of soil. So dead fallen leaves of tree decay and form humus, and it increases the porosity and fertility of the soil. It also helps in reducing the atmospheric pollution. Now, forests reduce atmospheric pollution by using carbon dioxide for photosynthesis and by collecting suspended particulate matter on their leaves, and they also help in checking global warming. They also help in the control of water flow. The thicker layer of humus in the forest absorbs and holds rainwater like sponge, and the leaves of the trees reduce the force of the raindrops to keep soil intact. The latter allows a gradual runoff of water to prevent flash floods, and this ensures perennial supply of water to streams, springs, and wells. It also provides fuel wood. Now, wood is the most important fuels used for cooking in several rural areas even today, and charcoal is used during winters to keep ourselves warm. So it also has the aesthetic value. Now, forests give a beautiful and pleasing look, and many people visit forest for recreation because temperature in forest is lower than normal and the air is pure. So it is a good place for picnic, hunting, hiking, camping, fishing, and photography. So these are some of the uses of forest. Now, coming to the conservation of forest, the maintenance and the upkeep of forest is called as the conservation of forest, and it is our responsibility to take this measure to conserve the forest. Now, how can we take some of the measures to conserve our forest? Massive afforestation work should be undertaken to cover large areas of land with useful plants. It should be done in areas unfit for agriculture, example along highways and rivers, around playgrounds, and also around the parks. And large scale cutting of forest trees must be stopped. Now, we cut trees for various purposes like the construction of buildings and also other several purposes. So we should not do that. If it is essential to cut a few trees, then make sure to plant more trees in their place. So if you cut one tree, try to at least plant 10 trees. Unauthorized cutting of trees is a punishable crime. So whoever, when you see someone who is cutting tree, tell them not to cut trees, and if they are cutting it for some major valid reason, then tell them to plant more trees. Then forest fires should be prevented. Huge forest areas are destroyed by fire every year. Fire may be caused due to carelessness of people and by natural methods. So people should avoid smoking or cooking in the forest areas. Overgrazing by cattle, horses, sheep, and goats should be prevented. And the forest must be protected from insects and pests. The infected plants should be removed or treated with suitable pesticides. All activities leading to the soil erosion should be controlled. Air, water, and soil pollution should be reduced so that trees and other vegetation can survive and develop in the forest. And also, forest nurseries should be established on large scale so that plants should be given free of cost to people for growing them near the house. And people should make made aware of the impact of forest on their life through advertisement, television, radio, and plays, and also through the public mouth to mouth contact. So existing laws to protect national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves should be properly implemented, and guidelines of international organizations like WWF and UNESCO for forest conservation should be followed. Now, One Mahotsav, which is celebrated every year, should be made more popular, meaningful, and effective. Now, coming to the Chipko movement. Now, what this Chipko movement was? The popular movement which was launched by the village people of the Terai forest in the Himalayan foothills to hug trees to prevent them from cutting was named as the Chipko Andolam, and it was the first well-known development program initiated by the common people to protect forest. It was started in March 1973 in the remote hill town of Kopeswar in Chamoli district of Uttarakhand, and the movement was led by a reputed environmentalist, Sundar Lal Bahuguna. Women of villages were in the forefront and took active participation in this movement. So this is the Chipko movement, and you should make a note of this Chipko movement. So in this way we are completing this chapter of forest, and I hope that you are enjoying the video. Feel free to ask any of the doubts. If you have even a simple one doubt, just feel free to ask in the comment section below, and stay tuned for more lessons to come. So I hope that you are enjoying the video, because my motive is that you should get the knowledge, and you should understand the concepts in the proper way. So just stay tuned for more lessons to come. Thank you for watching.